Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, I'm John, this is Many a True Nerd, and welcome back to Fallout New Vegas Survival Mode with the JSawyer Mod. Last time, we came into the strip for the first time and we cleared out Gomorrah over here, albeit in a way that basically literally nobody actually likes. Maybe Caesar does, but yeah, everyone else bloody hates it, including the strip itself, and so everyone hates it. Nobody likes me doing that. And today I've decided we're actually going to go into the tops. And I've got a fun little episode planned because I reckon I'm going to be showing off a fair few things actually that some people may well have never seen before. So let's kick off here and head straight over to the tops. So welcome to the tops, and obviously I've lost all of my weapons, or at least all of my important ones. Let's check if I actually have any guns left at all with my, nope, and my ridiculously gaudy pimp boy glowing in the pink light of the casino. I can see I have literally no weapons. That's fine. I don't need any weapons right now. Absolutely no need whatsoever. There's Benny over there, but, well, unfortunately, this poor chap is going to die a few times this episode. So I'd like to show all the different ways that exist, because there's something very fun in this area in the tops, which is there is a secret room. There is a secret room, and some of you may have seen this before. I stumbled across it years ago, utterly by accident. So before I did this run, I did a little bit of reading around it, and I actually found the mechanism for what actually causes this to exist and trigger. So let's show that off, shall we? Which is, first things first, let's head up to the 13th floor. Now, right now, Benny is down in the casino, meaning his room is unattended, and those guys are way over there, so they'll never see what's going on. So sure, let's just pick this door. And here we are inside Benny's own personal room here. Very, very nice. You're more than welcome to rob Benny here, of course. He doesn't have too much, to be honest. You'll see a copy of Lad's Life and some cigarettes up there. There's a Salesman Weekly, I believe. Yep, Salesman Weekly over there. And some money up top, but again, not worth very much. But of course, we all know what's really here, which is if we open up the back door, the broken wall, and Yes Man is here. Hello, Yes Man. But no need to bother with him right now. Instead, we just head out the back here into this little kind of service passageway around the back of Benny's room. Now, many people have seen this before, but felt it's kind of useless. It doesn't really do much. Because if you head around in this direction, and then over here, you've got a painted on door that does literally nothing. And then we've got another painted on door that does literally nothing. But most importantly, we have got here an elevator to the sub-basement. This requires a key. And this never ever opens for you. For you being the operative word there. Because the thing is, New Vegas is a little bit, well, I say weird. New Vegas is very, very realistic in a way, which is, if a character needs to get ahead in New Vegas, they can't just Resident Evil it and just kind of, you know, teleport ahead of you and be beyond a door that you required a key for, even though they don't have the key and have no way of getting past that door. The game actually needs to provide them with an open way they can get to an area. So if Benny chooses to flee the tops, then he will basically go here, the door will be opened for him, he will go through it, and then it will be locked again behind him. So the door will only open for Benny. This means that if you kind of do things like murder Benny in his sleep, or confront Benny, or diddly-diddly-dee, then the elevator will never open because Benny never fled. And if Benny fled, normally it's because, like, you've done something stupid, like gone up to the presidential with him and said that he can go, and then he flees, and then by the time you can follow him, he's already cleared this area. He's already got here, gone through and locked it down, because the game kind of teleports him around a little bit. However, there are a small number of ways, therefore, to trigger this. What we need to do to get into this secret sub-basement is we need to make Benny flee, but do it in such a way as we can actually stop him from fleeing, i.e. kill him manually before he's actually able to get to this here basement. And that's what I'm going to start with today, because I think that's really, really cool, and it does mean you can actually get down to the basement. And as I say, I went there accidentally once, so I'd love to go and visit it again now. So, way number one that we're doing this is we're going to go up to Benny and we're going to talk him into going to the presidential suite immediately.
What say you and me cash out? Go somewheres more private-like. Any questions you got, I'll answer.
Seems fair to me, but we're going together right now.
If that's what it takes to win your trust, that's what it takes. Follow me.
So, that is the Top's presidential suite key. He loses the bodyguard, and we both go to the presidential suite together. So now we're up in the suite, and as you heard me mention, we need to actually kill Benny. So I'm going to need some flipping weapons. For that, I need to get to this safe before he actually speaks to me, ideally, which I should just be able to do. There we go. Because he tries to speak to you before you get to it, but if you're at the right angle, you can get to it before he speaks to you for the first time. And that gives us 10mm rounds, 10mm submachine gun, a grenade rifle. That's got a good bit of power to it. Power fist, bottle caps, and some grenades as well. So everything you could need to kill Benny right there. Now the 10mm submachine gun is also very good at killing him, of course, because he's not actually wearing any proper armor, so his damage threshold is currently very, very poor indeed. So now we want to talk to him in such a way as he will try to flee the casino, because the moment he starts fleeing, the elevator unlocks. So now we just need to trick him into thinking that we believe him, he's won, and he can escape nice and easy. And if you actually still have his stuff, rather than handing it over to Swank, because most people hand it straight over to Swank, you can actually show them to him, so there's kind of a bit of a unique dialogue option if you've actually still got his stuff.
Look at me, a big leaguer, so I claim, making all the mistakes of an original loser.
Ultimately, however, what you want to do is you want to tell Benny that you forgive him.
You forgive me? After what I done? Baby, are you trying to make me cry? I don't know what to say, words don't begin. The least I can do is copy the presidential for as long as you want it. This spirit of forgiveness you're showing me, it's enough to make a player rethink what it means to win. You're 18 karat, baby, all the way.
And now he's going to try and get out of here, thinking that he's basically fooled you and you're just a sap. And as you can see there, he's already trying to flee. Well, we're not going to let him flee, we're just going to shoot him in the leg a little bit there. And there he goes down. Now, like, if he walks away, it doesn't work, he has to run away. And there's a very limited number of speech options that actually cause him to run like that, and forgiving him is possibly the only one, actually. So yeah, you've actually got to forgive him to make this work properly. Anyway, now let's just leave him here. No need to worry about him or the chip or anything. Instead, because he was trying to flee, the elevator is unlocked, and until he goes through it, it won't relock, meaning now it will never relock. So let's head back up to his suite. And now you can see, take elevator to the sub-basement. We don't need a key anymore, because the game unlocked it for Benny because he was in the process of fleeing. So welcome to the top sub-basement. And I would wager 99% of New Vegas players have never seen this room before. There's actually some nice stuff down here. There's an explosive crate where you can get some C4, so that's very, very valuable indeed. Together with just some basic explosives, not that useful in this game to be honest. And another one of the same, some dynamite and long fuse dynamite. So you've kind of got the basement here. Then you've just kind of got a burrowed through area where it suggested, of course, that Benny exploded his way down into what we could reasonably assume is part of the Vault 21 basement, because this looks distinctly like a vault. Over this way, we do indeed have a door we can crack open. Get ourselves to a locker. Lock contains, yep, just Stimpack and Stimpack expired. We've got some more lockers over here. Nothing in either of those. That's inaccessible, so there's nothing this way. You can't actually go too far, but the implication basically is, like, when Benny flees, how does he actually get out of the casino with no one seeing him? How does he escape and make his way over towards Caesar? Well, he had a secret tunnel. He had this secret tunnel right here that no one else was ever able to get to, which is really, really cool. More lockers here that I think just kind of generate some random stuff. Recon armor there. That's nice. I don't know if that's a random drop or it's guaranteed. But as you can see here, like, there's a fair little bit of stuff down here. That door's inaccessible, and I think that door at the end might also be inaccessible. I think that might be the extent of this little sub-area. Oh, no, not quite yet. There's yet more. There's, as I say, like, there's a bit more than you expect down here. It's a big little old area. So this room's a dead end, nothing in here, and then what have we got for here? Have we finally got ourselves a dead end here? No, we do indeed finally have a door that requires a key. Now, as far as I'm aware, there is no key that operates this door. There's simply no way to get through this one. But you'll also find mysteriously down here, 10mm round, another explosives crate for dynamite and a baseball. Very, very nice. So yeah, you've just got this big old area down here that I suppose we should kind of assume, because Vault 21 was kind of half filled with concrete, and thus most of the vault can't be accessed anymore. Yeah, Benny just decided to use explosives to blow his way through into what looks distinctly like the reactor level of a vault. It's got all the kind of the same doors that you normally see on the reactor level when you go into vaults. So that's very, very cool indeed. And yeah, just a little area here that actually it's not even that bad to visit, to be honest, because you get all the explosives out of it, and the C4 especially is quite valuable. So yeah, nice little thing to have here, and I do hope that quite a few people have never seen that before. So, back on the floor, and Benny's back over there, because I've got another plan for him, a very special plan indeed, but we can't do it just this second. I need to do a little bit of preparation. So while we just leave Benny over there, instead, let's head up here towards the Aces Theatre and kick off the other quest that exists in this here casino. And that is, we need to get some new acts for the theatre, because they've literally only got the Rat Pack, who are these guys right here. So, I've just got 4 of Tommy Torini's business cards, and talent pool begins. He wants me to go and find some talented people to take part in his show, and they are very, very easy to get hold of. Now, the first is Billy Knight, who kind of looks a little bit out of place, to be honest. You're kind of used to him standing right next to the lovely wall that divides up the strip, but of course he's standing right there now. I like Billy Knight, he's good.
Hey, come on, pal, I'm trying to put on a show here. You're welcome.
Tommy Torini's looking for acts, here you go. So, off he goes, that's entertainer number 1. Next, we're back in Freeside to visit the Atomic Wrangler. Good old Hadrian the Ghoul. Personally, I prefer Billy Knight, but he's still pretty good. And of course, Tommy Torini's looking for acts. But with Hadrian, it's a little bit more complex.
Too bad I got this ironclad contract with the Garretts. They'll never let me out of it.
And I could try and talk to Garrett.
Huh. Good luck. Garrett's a tough, mean son of a bitch. He's not likely to give up. Let me know if you make any headway.
And with speech of 50, you can get him out of his contract nice and easy.
I suppose you've got a point. Plenty of Brahmin on the prairie and all that. Fine, I'll cut him loose. He's all yours.
Really? You mean I'm finally out of this shithole? That's great. Thank you.
And off he goes, or off he... You're free! Oh, well, never mind. Now, before I go further afield than Freeside, what I do want to very quickly do is nip over here to Michelangelo's little sign business, because I need to level up before I go much further, and this guy is a very nice easy source of a ton of XP. Michelangelo himself is almost always just over here to the right. There he is. I'll need to do a today's physician first, just so I can actually diagnose the poor man. There you go, medicine 55, you're suffering from agoraphobia and I can help.
Ah, an educated fellow. Now that is almost as rare as artistry.
There we are, we just leveled up. As soon as we leave this conversation, we'll be done. There's a lot of lovely speech checks in here.
I have a camera. It is old, but it should work. Perhaps you could bring me images of inspiring landmarks.
Gladly. There we are, level 18. Now, first thing that's very important, Barter now needs to be got up to level 30. That's going to matter very momentarily. Guns can go up just a little bit too, and in fact guns can go up to 96, sure, why not? And level 18 is of course a perk level. There's a nice little perk if you've actually been investing in survival, level 18 survival 50, whenever you're outside +1 perception agility. Not actually that bad at all. Well, there's a load of good stuff here, but I really can't be turning down better criticals, given I am going for a kind of pistol criticals build. Yes, most certainly, 50% damage bonus, very, very good indeed. Luckily, the camera doesn't actually weigh anything, so that is not weighing me down in the slightest. Now, with that in hand, we can go on a little road trip and clear out a whole bunch of stuff I need to do in one go, nice and easy. First things first, I'm back in Sloan, because of course I only handed over the Deathclaw egg to Jazz Wilkins in the universe where I took Cannibal, which never actually happened. So as a result, I'm still carrying it, and that thing weighs bloody 7 on its own. Next, down the road to Prim, get a quick shot of this here sign. There we go, and the nice thing about this quest is it kind of gives you the XP up front. As you take the photo, you get the XP. Over to Novak, where we've got 2 things to do in the middle of the night here. First things first, of course, the dinosaur and its little thermometer. Not sure quite why a dinosaur is holding a thermometer, but alright, what have you. There we go, lovely. And of course, we've also got the third part of talent pool here, upstairs in the motel. You know it's the right door because it's one you're actually allowed to open. Hello there.
Oh, please don't kill me. I swear I'll have... Wait, you don't work for Mr. Bishop, do you?
That depends. How much are you willing to pay? And indeed, a curious little kind of bit of the script here, because obviously our character has amnesia and can't really remember anything. And yet we get this little kind of snapshot into their past. The protagonist recognises Bruce Isaac as a singer from New Reno and says that I think I saw you play the clubs there. So yeah, sort of interesting. We don't really know quite how much the protagonist does or doesn't remember about their old life. I mean, the events as are kind of told to him during Lonesome Road seem to be something that he's not aware of, yet he remembers something about seeing a guy in New Reno. So there's a bit of an interesting question about how much the protagonist actually remembers there. Anyway, head over to Tommy Torini. And our journey continues. Of course, the next stop on the road north is Helios 1 to take a quick photo of its sign. I do not think the game did this intentionally, by the way, which is if you decide to do talent pool and classic inspiration at the same time, it's actually kind of very easy to do kind of both of them simultaneously there. Oh my goodness. Yes, the little mod I've got that means you kind of hold a gun out in front of you when you fire it also affects the camera. That's nice. So you have very aggressive photography there. And just the tiniest bit north of Helios 1, again, very, very close by and easy, though I fast travelled to Boulder City, I think that's a little bit faster than walking. We indeed have here the Lonesome Drifter and his unique asset, the acoustic guitar. Don't steal that, mind, you'll probably need it if we're about to move him into a casino. Now, before we speak to him, and this is why I took barter up to 30... Salesman Weekly gets my barter up to 50. This is very, very important, because this guy has a decent barter check, not a speech check. So that there will get my barter up to 51, in fact. Lovely. Tiny bit more boosted thanks to the additional luck I've got. Hello, Lonesome Drifter. And of course, the Lonesome Drifter, a very mysterious chappie. In fact, sort of vaguely hinted to be the son of the mysterious stranger.
Ma always said he was a real mysterious fella, even when he was with her. Like he was a stranger sometimes.
Very, very odd indeed. Yeah, the mysterious stranger is the Lonesome Drifter's father. Very, very odd. And indeed, Tommy Torini's looking for Axe.
Maybe it's time to give these tired old bones a rest. All right, show me what you've got.
And with barter of 50, hang on, I'm giving you a real opportunity here. I want some compensation.
I suppose it's only right you get a little something for your troubles. Here, my daddy left me this gun. Guess I don't need it no more.
And there we go. The card has been removed. That is, I believe, all of the Axe now. Yep, that's all of the Axe. And I have indeed got a unique variant of the .44 Magnum. The mysterious Magnum, indeed, given to him by the mysterious stranger, the mysterious Magnum. Not actually that hard to use. Strength 6, guns 50, damage 47. Pretty damn powerful. But of course, everyone knows what this gun's really all about, which is if you decide to draw it... Yes, it does indeed play the lovely music. I always show this off every single time. And I apologise for nothing. It's great fun. Then put it away again. It's a good gun. And if we get right up close to it, we can see it's actually got some very nice little kind of patterning on the side as well, which is lovely. It's not the most powerful revolver in the game, but it's a fun gun, and I'll certainly be keeping it on me to mark the fact that I have retrieved it. Anyway, 2 more signs to get on my way back to Vegas. The McCarran Airfield sign.
Whoa, whoa, careful!
Did you say whoa? Yes, that's the thing actually. The game treats this as if it's a gun. So normally, like, if you fire a gun close by to someone, they say like, whoa, and things like that. And the game treats the camera just the same way. So sometimes if you just take a photo of people, they kind of freak out, which is quite funny. Anyway, last one is the Sunset Sarsaparilla headquarters, which obviously I've already been to. So let's just head there and get the last photo. They don't actually need to head over there, by the way, like, because the camera's got like a decent zoom on it, and the game's quite generous about how far away you can be. So then you can actually take the photo from the near side of the highway, which I'm actually going to try and do just to see if I can. I'm on the near side of the highway here. See if we can do this. Yep. That was it. That is good enough. You don't need to be closer than that. So, like, don't feel you need to go right up to the sign. The game's very, very generous about allowing you to just take a photo from a very long distance. Now, one more thing I'm going to be needing, and I've just nipped to the gun runs to pick it up. A very cheap little 9mm pistol. I'll show you why we need this in a moment.
Hey, asshole! Everyone loves a good insult, am I right? So you'll love Hadrian live at the Aces Theater.
Ah, indeed. Here we go. Something that's actually been kind of restored by the OpenStrip mod. So basically, there's a whole bunch of lines recorded for the Tops promoter. Once an act's been recruited, then the Tops promoter starts yelling about it. But like the lines that they recorded were never put into the actual game. So this mod actually restores them, which is very, very nice. So back to Michelangelo, and we can turn over all the photos straight to him.
Here's some compensation for your work.
So there we are, 750 bottle caps, and despite the fact I just got 750 bottle caps, apparently I want even more of a reward.
You have earned it, my friend. Now I can finally unveil my masterpieces to the world, all thanks to you. Come visit me again sometime.
I'm not sure why he gives you there 750, then another 500 on top, but alright, fine, that's a good 1,250 caps. Very, very generous. I do like the little bit with the NCR girls dancing in the fountain, of course. They are still marked as NCR troopers, which is quite nice, and they are wearing the NCR helmets. Even the one in the sexy sleepwear outfit is still marked as an NCR trooper, and the robots try and tell them to get out of the fountain, they refuse, and until the NCR military police shows up, they don't. It's a lovely little thing that happens there, I do like it. Now, this time I'm going inside, I have some preparations to make first. Obviously, you may recall I just bought that 9mm pistol, and I've got that for a very, very particular reason. So let's just use La Fantoma to get my sneak up, a magazine I imagine basically no one ever uses for anything, but quite useful for me on this particular occasion, and bloody hell, it looks like my pimp boy is melting. Lovely. You see, thanks to that, I've now boosted my sneak up to, I think it's 61, 41 to 61, but as a result it's over 50, and that means I get to keep my holdout weapons. And now I get to keep not only the 9mm pistol, but also I think you get to keep the camera anyway, the camera because that's a quest item that can't actually leave your inventory. I also get to keep Lucky, the Mysterious Magnum, Pew Pew, and a pulse grenade, so somehow I managed to slip all of that past the frisking, so lovely. Now, before we go on to how we're going to deal with Benny, and I think some of you know this game very well, may have kind of figured out what I'm actually aiming for here, let's head back to the Aces Theatre and turn that in quickly. And here's the nice thing, for every individual act you hand over, you get paid individually, and you also get more strip fame. And there we are, we've gone up to mixed on the strip. Sure, we may have, you know, slightly given a psychopath a chlorine bomb, but on the other hand, there's now some decent acts at this here club. And of course, the acts are all now actually hanging out in here, which is very, very cool. So you've kind of got Hadrian here as well. And there's Bruce Isaac over there. And then we've got Billy Knight over there as well. It's lovely. It's nice to have all of the guys here. In fact, where's the Lonesome Drifter? Where's the Lonesome... Is that you over there? Yes, there you are. Hello, Lonesome Drifter. Now, on to Benny. We can approach him in just the same way as last time. Just go up to him on the floor and get him into the presidential by using speech 60. Just tell him that he has to go there now without bodyguards. So this here is how Benny is going to actually go down. We're going to kill him here, but we're going to do it in a way that is actually a unique achievement, which I do very much like, which I've now properly all set up. So we've got the 9mm pistol, and by the way, I did just have to step outside quickly. There's a very important point here, which is make sure you've got ammo for it as well. You're going to be needing ammo as well, obviously. Go over to the 9mm pistol. Well, you don't actually have to use the 9mm pistol. This is just convenient. Now, let's go over to Benny and pick a fight with him. So all you need to do is just find any option that clearly indicates you're about to attack Benny. That's fine. Get into a fight with him.
Then this is Ensville, baby. May the best man win.
Curiously, the game doesn't actually have a getting up in a hurry animation, so he gets up very slowly for a man engaging in a fight to the death. Alright, now, he's just decided to shoot me. That's fine. I now want to be shooting his gun, Maria, as much as possible. I want that out of his hands. So, focus on Maria. There it goes. Out of his hands, out of his hands. Where? Oh, flip. Where did it go? Where did it go? Get it? There we go. I've got it. Now, I've now got Maria, and he doesn't. He goes for the only other weapon in the area that's not locked in a safe, which is the pool cue, meaning we can now do a nice little Benny Hill dance around the table. He'll often get stuck on the chairs as well. So yeah, he gets himself very, very stuck indeed. If he gets too close to you, literally just hop over the table and he's 100% fine. Because even though you're hopping over the table, he's not allowed to hop over the tables. That's lovely. Yeah, this will take a fair few shots to potentially do right, so don't be surprised if it ends up kind of getting you injured or crippled, especially on kind of hardcore mode or JSawyer. He'll also run away occasionally, but don't worry, he can't actually get anywhere. He'll just kind of come back for you as soon as you're a bit more available. Now, the reason we did this, by the way, we now have Maria in our inventory, but to get it out of his hands, I needed to kind of shoot it so it lost its condition. So, take the 9mm pistol I've got out of my hands, go over to Maria, repair that with my 9mm pistol. Maria is now back up to full strength, and I now have Benny's gun actually working in my hands. So now I'm going to murder Benny with his own gun. Now that's nice and fun and ironic, but there's also a unique achievement for it. So Benny, come over here, my good man. Benny, you gonna do this? You gonna do this? Never mind. And down he goes. Talk about owned. Kill Benny with his own gun, Maria. And that achievement on its own gives you 550 XP. Because, yes, indeed, that is a unique achievement there. Killing Benny with his own gun, talk about owned. So that 550 XP wasn't because, like, killing Benny clears up Ring-a-Ding-Ding or anything. In fact, Ring-a-Ding-Ding is, if we go over to the quest log, still active. Because until I've got the chip, that doesn't actually finish up. The moment I grab it off him, then that will be finished up. Benny suit's pretty good, by the way. Barter and speech both +5. May as well keep that, really. The sweet key, don't need his pool cue, to be honest. May as well take his 9mm round. By the way, if you want to actually make Benny completely unarmed during any fight you're going to engage in with him, by the way, while he's like on the floor or just walking around, if you pickpocket him, you've got a very good chance of successfully stealing his 9mm round, because like companions or like NPCs that are important in this game work a bit weirdly, which is they have to have ammo, but they only have to have one bullet. So if he's got Maria and a 9mm round, he can fire Maria forever. If you take the 9mm round off him, he can't use Maria, meaning he basically can't fight you except by like grabbing that pool cue. So that makes the fight nice and easy, but then that also means you can't get Maria off him to kill him with it. So, you know, to my mind, you actually kind of want to be having Maria, to be honest. Anyway, the Platinum Chip. Lovely, and that there is the reward for the Platinum Chip, plus 1000 XP. Nice. And ring-a-ding-ding, complete. And no one on the floor actually minds you doing any of this, by the way. And there you go. Everyone in the casino is cool with you, except something has actually changed out here in the casino, which is the moment you've dealt with Benny, his bodyguards actually fade out of existence. You'll notice there's actually a lot less security floating around. Now, that might actually be something you don't actually want, because a lot of people, like, you know, sneak Benny away to his apartment, or to his bedroom, or to the presidential, and take care of him there, so you don't have to deal with his bodyguards. There's actually something worth noting about his bodyguards, because, like, all of these guys here, you see these guys, that guy's got, like, a 10mm pistol, plenty of the others have just, like, straight razors, that guy's got a sawn-off shotgun, there's one of the chairmen that's got a sawn-off shotgun on the floor here. However, Benny's actual guards, the ones that despawn after he's dead, have a unique, well, it's actually not a unique weapon. It is, however, a weapon that is so rare, there's a good chance, even if you've played this game multiple times, you'll never have actually bloody seen it. And you don't lose the opportunity to ever get it. It is elsewhere in the game, a couple of places, but it is good to get it off his bodyguards if you can. So while that is the way I have successfully killed Benny, and that's what's going to stand, I'm going to very quickly nip into an alternative universe and show a different way of doing it again. And by the way, it's very, very important that you don't lead Benny up to the presidential and then let him go so that you get ambushed by his bodyguards. Because his bodyguards redraw their weapons if that happens. Instead, they have just things like 22 pistols and straight razors. Well, you can see on the back of this guy, right here, this chairman bodyguard has a Tommy gun. In fact, it's a silenced Tommy gun. That is the .22 silenced automatic. A weapon that the gun runners do occasionally sell, but many people overlook. Fiends in Vault 3 can spawn with it, very rarely, but I can't remember ever seeing it, but that is what I have read. So, he's got one of them. Benny, meanwhile, yep, get you back up to the presidential, just out of the way, that's 100% fine. This guy has one here. So yeah, two of his bodyguards do indeed have these guns. And if you lure these guys up onto the actual presidential, they won't anymore. And now these guys all wander off. So if you need a powerful weapon to stealth kill them, the presidential does conveniently, of course, give you a power fist right here in this safe. And because Benny's not dead, these guys haven't yet despawned. They will, but not yet. In fact, they very conveniently disperse, even if they don't actually separate yet. So that means, of course, you can get this guy nice and easily here. Oh, come on, I know you want to do this. Let's get into a good position while hidden. Yep, this should be fine. Bear in mind, of course, VATS attacks with melee and unarmed are more powerful anyway. I've got better criticals. This should easily one-shot him. There we go. Off his arm goes. And of course, that was a sneak attack critical. New Vegas is very funny and decides that doesn't count for anything. So we can search him, get the sweet key if we actually want it, but more importantly, yes, a silenced .22 SMG. Something that very many people completely overlook. And now there's another one of those if you want to kind of further increase its condition. He'll go... He just sits down opposite his dead friend. Lovely. Yeah, these guys are much actually easy to deal with after you get rid of Benny because they kind of disperse, and that means they very often kind of wander around, sit in odd little corners, generally go and like hide in a corner that makes them very easy to take care of. So, both of them dead, both of their guns combined into one. This isn't desperately good, but what it does have going for it is one of those bonus critical damage, bonus critical chance sort of guns, which is actually pretty damn cool. On the downside, however, because it is a low damage, high DPS weapon, yeah, in the world of New Vegas, this thing just doesn't quite cut it. It's pretty heavy for a gun that's only got damage 142 for a high DPS rapid firing weapon. It is, however, worth kind of using just for fun, because one of the things that's very, very interesting about it is it's got a unique reload animation, which not many guns actually have. So if we kind of just fire this thing, and then I don't have any flipping spare ammo for it. Hang on, I need to go and actually buy more ammo for this thing. Oh, marvellous. Okay, now we're good. Lovely. We've actually got some spare ammo we can reload into the gun. So this thing's got a unique animation. So take off the little thingy and plug it back on. Like, you know, maybe you don't think that's the coolest thing in the world, but it is nice that this is actually, I believe, the only gun that kind of works and looks a little bit like a Tommy gun, where it's got that kind of little circle of ammo, whatever it's called, and you reload it like that. I think it's kind of cool, and this is just a gun that a lot of people overlook. It's also, I think, one of only 2 silenced automatic weapons in the game. The other one is, of course, Sleepy Time, the silenced 10mm automatic that you can purchase from the gun runners, though it's very, very expensive indeed. This one, however, is much, much easier to get hold of, because, like, as I showed you, you can simply go to the Presidential, grab the Power Fist, even if you've never really invested in unarmed at all, just grab the Power Fist, and then as long as you've taken better criticals, in fact, probably even if you've never taken better criticals, just because VATS attacks that are sneak attacks in New Vegas with unarmed or melee weapons are so ludicrously powerful, you should be able to kill those guys really, really easily and get this here gun if you happen to want it. And that there then is a silenced automatic weapon very early in the game. Personally, I'm not necessarily convinced that's that good, because, like, you know, surely the whole point of a silenced weapon is you want the first shot that you fire to be the one that kills and the one that's completely silenced, whereas, you know, this is obviously quite a weak gun. Each individual shot is quite weak, so kind of defeats the object to me, but still, it's nice that it's a silenced gun, I'd say. Listen to that. Well, it's certainly better than the .22 pistol. Let's just say that much at least. Yeah, there's Sleepy Time right there. Value of 8,244. Unless you've been heavily investing in barter, good chance it'll be a lot more for you. For me, about 11,500 caps. So, to my mind, that's pretty bloody expensive. But you can see that it is vastly, vastly superior to the silenced 22 SMG. I mean, he has got one right there. There is technically, like, this is not a unique gun. You can buy this. I think a lot of people just, like, completely overlook this thing because genuinely it's not very good, but if you do happen to want one, yeah, you can get a pretty decent condition one, nice and easy from within the tops. Anyway, back to the original universe where we have actually killed Benny in the way that I want to, and now I want to revisit the Aces Theatre. And the reason is because I would actually quite like to enjoy some of the acts that we've actually gathered together. The musical ones aren't so good, but the nice thing is, like, you can actually genuinely come to this place after you've recruited the acts and actually go and see them. So I believe, and they all have their times, by the way. If you want to check the times, they are on the sign outside. I believe it is Billy Knight is on 1 in the afternoon. I think Hadrian is on in 4 in the afternoon. I know I'm crippled. I just want to take in a show first game. It's fine. And then the musical acts are on in the evening. So I'm going to take a nice front row seat here. This is like a nice little seat. Lovely. You cannot wait in the air. I'm not in the air. I'm sitting down. That's different game.
It's great to be here at the Tops, folks. The room I'm in has a lovely little closet. A nail. Oh. A ghoul goes to a doctor and says, "Doctor, doctor, I have this horrible rash." The doctor says, "Son, that's called your face. Ding dong." So I hear Mr. House runs the strip. He took it over from the last guy. Mr. Mob-infested hellhole. Did he just say that? My hotel room is so small. When I put the key in the lock, I broke the window. I bought my wife a little car here in New Vegas. An Omerta. It has a hood under the hood. Ay, ay, ay. Hey, what about that suit Benny wears? If I had a suit like that, the ladies would be all over me. What? You expect a punchline? The guy pays my salary. It's true. My cousin and his wife are a fastidious couple. She's fast, and he's hideous. Ha-cha-cha. I've been in love with the same woman for 17 years. If my wife ever finds out, she'll kill me. No! My wife and I know the secret to a happy marriage. 2 times a week, we go to a nice restaurant. She goes Mondays, I go Fridays. I love these robots with their friendly little policeman faces. Sure, they still rough you up, but they look so happy. I had dinner at the Ultra Lux the other night. I told them my steak tastes funny. They said it was a clown. I ate a person. They really care about your privacy here at the Tops. Even room service has an enlisted number. What? I hear James Garrett drove 5,000 head of Brahmin to New Reno. No bodies, just the heads. I told my wife, she's good looking for a ghoul. It's just too bad she's not a ghoul. Ay, ay, ay. I try to be frank and earnest with women. In New Reno, I'm frank, and in the Boneyard, I'm earnest. Oh, no! I've been married for 17 years. Where did I go wrong? Oh! I take my wife everywhere, but somehow she keeps finding her way back. I did it! I know a guy, his motto is love thy neighbor. He lives next to a brothel. Oh, no.
And that is the end of Billy Knight's act. I like Billy Knight. I generally enjoy, you know, rapid-paced, random pun humour. It's quite good. And now I'm just going to stand in the same spot for about 20 hours because I believe it is, in fact, therefore, Hadrian that's on at 1 PM. So therefore, I'm going to catch him the following day if we can. Let's see if we can get ourselves Hadrian. Here he comes. I've almost dehydrated to death, but we'll get a good act.
It's great to be up here, looking down at all your smiling faces. That won't last long.
How's it hanging?
My friend, you've got style, grace, and charm. The style of a feral ghoul, the grace of a super mutant, and the charm of a Deathclaw. Was that suit made to order? It was. And where were you at the time? Hey, look at this guy. I didn't know they let Brahmin into this joint. Swank is here, ladies and gentlemen. Make yourself at home, Swank. Hit somebody. Whoa, you don't look too healthy. Maybe you should see a doctor. Or an undertaker. Somebody told me the other day you were bright. I wasn't sure if you meant smart or radioactive.
And there we are. That there is Hadrian's much smaller set than Billy Knight. I'm not sure if he is actually directly answering or kind of getting back to you, but like he did make reference to the fact that I was injured and radioactive, and I am indeed currently crippled and quite radioactive. So I like to think his insults are actually tailored at you, though I'm not actually 100% sure of that off the top of my head. But yes, there we are, that's that. Though to be honest, I'll probably now revert to a universe where I never went and saw those shows, so I don't actually dehydrate to death.
The eyes of the mighty Caesar are upon you. He admires your accomplishments and bestows upon you the exceptional gift of his mark. Any crimes you may have perpetrated against the Legion are hereby forgiven. Caesar will not extend this mercy a second time. My lord requires your presence at his camp at Fortification Hill. His mark will guarantee your safe conduct through our lands.
That is bloody kind of Caesar, given at one point I literally went to various camps of the Legion and murdered my way through all of them. I believe I, murdered over 40 Legion troops purely to get hold of their ears so I could hand them over to the NCR, and he is showing me mercy and has forgiven me all my crimes. Bloody generous.
If he wanted you dead, you would be dead already.
You say this, but he sent a lot of people to me already, and I don't end up dead, and would you believe the NCR wants to speak to me too? Ambassador Crocker, lovely. So yes, there we are. The Legion and the NCR run up to me immediately. Very nice. If you killed him, by the way, back in Nipton, it's another bloke who... I can't remember his bloody name. You don't want to do it, though, because that just means you lose a quest he'll give you otherwise, and the other bloke doesn't give you a quest. Anyway, you know what? We've got ourselves the Platinum Chip. I would say let's go and just have a very quick word with House, because you can get a very good amount of money out of House, and not just for the chip. Hello, Victor. Let me in, please.
Well, howdy, partner.
If you want to clear out the place, by the way, there's these doors underneath the stairs that lead into the kind of the cash room. So you can get like some valuable stuff there, like cigarettes. In terms of like their weight to value ratio, that's pretty decent. There's open safes here, but they're not so spectacular. 10mm pistols pretty damn good as well in terms of like the weight to value ratio. Meanwhile, on the other side of the casino over there is the bar, so obviously there's a bit of stuff like whiskey and vodka and other stuff that's pretty damn good. Vodka's like 1 to 20 weight to value ratio, whiskey's 1 to 10, so both of them can be well worth taking. I think there's a few Nuka-Colas that are pretty damn valuable there as well, actually. They're, whiskies, Nuka-Colas, I think they're a 1 to 20. Yep, 1 to 20, very worth having as well. And here we are. Hello, Mr. House, would you like the Platinum Chip?
You've been a busy courier, haven't you? You take your obligation to deliver a package very seriously, an ethic for which I am grateful.
And how about payment?
Fine. Give me the chip and I'll pay you 4 times the delivery bonus stipulated in your contract. How's that?
1,000 caps? Yep, very, very gladly. And there's another bloody 500 XP for the House Always Wins 1, which is supposed to be given to you as you kind of visit House the moment you show up on the strip for the first time. Then you go and deal with Benny, then you turn it in, and then you get the reward for turning the chip over. But because I went straight and dealt with Benny without ever seeing House, basically he tells me about the quest and I immediately pass it. And straight up to level 19, there's a lot of high XP quests floating around here. Now, may as well finish guns up to 100, sure, why not? Let's get sneak up to 50 as well, just so we can actually get guns in any of the casinos if we need to do that in future, and science probably ought to start moving in a positive direction as well. And there's the House Always Wins 2, and I'm supposed to head over to Fortification Hill, get the platinum chip inside Caesar's camp, and open a mysterious hatch. But I don't actually care about that because I would rather speak to Mr. House's robo-wife right here. Well, actually, I'll speak to her in a second instead. Victor, take me instead to the cocktail lounge. And the cocktail lounge, if we just kind of head around the outside here and look behind the cash registers. There we go, behind one of the cash registers. We will find a snow globe for... bizarrely, the rep contest site. Can we get a better view of this, by the way? No, don't knock that down. It's quite hard to get a good view of this thing, but never mind. There we are, limited edition snow globe. So yeah, the rep contest site has a snow globe right there. I guess maybe in the pre-war days, Repcon and House were working together on a business deal, and it was a gift from them to him. Or something, I suppose. Back to the penthouse, and I now have 3 of those snow globes. I got the one from Vault 21, I got the one from Goodsprings back in the day, and I've got that one there. Let's turn over all of these to Jane.
Ooh, suddenly I feel all tingly, and I find I've got a rocket launcher.
Gotta like Jane.
I'm Jane, one of Mr. House's girls. We keep him entertained. We don't get many guests lately. Perhaps we can entertain you as well.
And of course, if you actually dig around elsewhere in the game, there is basically some pre-war rumours you can find that basically suggest that Mr. House, back when he was alive and not trapped in a little thing and only presenting himself through a screen, had a girlfriend supermodel, but rather than like doing anything with her, he just spent a lot of time scanning her brain. And as a result of that, yeah, he just wanted to transfer her consciousness into this here robot, which is what Jane actually is.
Not many people know this, but Mr. House is one of the world's biggest collectors of antique snow globes. If you happen to find any out in the Wasteland, you can bring them to me, and I'll add them to his collection. You'll get a reward, of course. In fact, one of Mr. House's favorites went missing when we moved the collection. If you have a look around the Lucky 38, you might even find it.
And of course we already did that, and I've got 3 snow globes, and the reward is bloody impressive.
You do? Why, that's just wonderful. I'll take them and put them with the rest of the collection.
So there we are, 2,000 caps apiece for 6,000 total. So Mr. House pays, if you push him, 1,000 caps for the delivery of the platinum chip, the thing that he believes is going to assure his dominance over Vegas and basically ensure that his plan is successful, but he'll pay 2,000 caps for any snow globe you find. Mr. House has an odd perception of value. And in the strip, I'm up to a smiling troublemaker because for some reason the entire strip likes what I've done.
Excuse me, but are you the courier who caused all of that trouble in the tops?
Yeah, sure. Your quest is ludicrously simple. I'll do it now. Emily Ortle there just wants me to kind of quickly install a little packet there, which makes it very easy to overlook how everyone's suddenly looking at you.
I thought nobody has ever been inside that place.
That one must be important around here.
Check that out. He just left the Lucky 38.
Damn,
Our
and he looks
victory
good
at
to me
Nelson's a
too.
worthy story to tell in my travels.
And then everyone wanders off, having briefly kind of mumbled about how ridiculous it is you're allowed inside the Lucky 38, which is nice. That kind of introduces why, theoretically, you know, the NCR and the Caesar's Legion might suddenly be interested in you. The fact that you've just done this thing that's so very remarkable as far as everyone's concerned. Anyway, Moon Comes Over the Hill is the most ridiculously simple quest in the world. In fact, I think it might actually be the simplest quest in the entire game. 1, head up here. By the way, you can actually pass the nice golden gloves there. Very nice. The best knockout weapons in the game there. We'll kind of look at them at some other time. I just clipped forward for some reason. Then just bugged Lucky 38 network. Marvellous. And straight out we go. That's it. That's the entirety of what you need to do. There's no skill checks. There's no anything. It's literally like, you know, a 20-second walk from where you get given the quest. And now we go back over to Emily Ortle.
Hey, have you been able to bug Mr. House's network yet?
I have, it's all done.
Oh, what the hell? The bug went offline. Damn it. I swear to God that old man has thought of everything. Well, it looks like this was all for nothing. But you did your best. I appreciate the help.
There we go. Helped out the followers. Very, very nice. And yes, sorry, my mistake. It was the moon comes over the tower, not the moon comes over the hill. I now have a very big pile of money burning a hole in my pocket. 11,810 flipping caps, in fact. Now, if we could just get that just the tiniest bit high. Excuse me, you sell things, don't you? There we are. Selling a bit of stuff there. Gets us just over 12,000. Quick dose of Hydra to restore limb condition, I'd say. There we are, don't need a doctor anymore, just needed a steak and a drink of water and some drugs and we're in good shape. And I think I know where I want that giant... That is an impressive trick you are doing right there. That is lovely. Yeah, I think I know where I want that 12 grand to be going. Doctor, please give me the biggest, baddest, bestest thing that you've got.
You're back. Do you need medical attention?
No, I sorted that out for myself. I'm sure it's fine. You know, steak and drugs, it's all good. Instead, I want an implant. Oh, no, I can't just yet. Well, you know what that means? That means I actually need to flipping boost my insurance slightly. Okay, fine, I can't actually do that just yet. In that case, I'll take a rad scrub from you, please. She didn't actually tell me a price, by the way. I just handed over 100 bottle caps. That's fine, lovely.
Take care.
You know what? I'm happy enough to have 0 rads for the first time in, like, bloody forever. That's very welcome indeed. The Hydra over time just slowly gets your limb condition back to max anyway, which is very, very welcome. But you know what? I think we're okay for now anyway. In fact, we are better than okay. For the first time in quite a long time, the Legion aren't sending bloody assassins after me. So that there is just absolutely fantastic. So there we are. We've got our revenge. Benny is dead. We killed him with his own gun. And that's worth, yeah, a very generous 550 XP for a unique achievement there. Talk about. I like Talk About. That's a fun little achievement. I love the little extra stuff that GRA added in, because Gunrunner's Arsenal, the add-on, added in a ton of like little extra achievements, some of which were quite fun and quite hard, but the rewards for them could be very, very high indeed. The highest one hands out like 1,000 XP for doing a particular achievement. I might kind of do some of those at some point. I'm not in a hurry to, but I might well kind of do some of those at some point. And next time, well, now the Legion are off our back, that opens up a whole bunch of opportunities for things I've kind of been putting off because I didn't really want Legion Assassin squads all over me. So maybe we'll revisit some of those next week, ladies and gentlemen. But in the meantime, I've been John. This has been many a true nerd. This has been Fallout New Vegas Survival Mode with the JSawyer Mod. Thank you very much, and goodbye. My milk gave me a sign, and it said tomorrow you will do something that will change your fate. Is my character simultaneously using a phone, using a laptop, smoking, and driving in a rainstorm? Hello, headquarters, I've got a problem. Yes, it's the milk again. Sorry, what were you saying? I was looking at this biscuit. You know what, mate? I'm confused too.